It can happen when police illegally run your gun serial number, and I'm about to give you the playbook to stop it. I want you to picture this scenario down to the details. You see the lights in your mirror, you signal, and pull over safely. Your heart rate ticks up. That's normal, but you're calm because you're a responsible citizen. You have your license and registration ready. The officer approaches, and the exchange is courteous. Then comes the pivotal question: is there anything in the vehicle I should know about, like any weapons? You, aiming for transparency, respond, "Yes, officer. I have a legally owned firearm in the center console, and here's my permit." You believe you're doing everything right, but the atmosphere shifts. The officer's posture changes. His tone becomes firmer, more directive. "Step out of the car for me, please." Now you're on the shoulder, watching traffic whiz by. He retrieves your firearm from the console. You hear the distinct click of the slide being locked back, not for safety, but to peer at the barrel. He's searching for the serial number. A wave of powerlessness hits you. This is the critical juncture where your rights either form a shield or dissolve in a thin air. That feeling stems from not knowing the rules. Today, we replace uncertainty with command. I'm going to dissect the 3 illegal tripwires police cross in this scenario, and then I'll hand you a detailed 4-step roadside playbook designed to reclaim your control. But let's start with a crucial question. When an officer secures your firearm for safety, at what precise millisecond does that justified action morph into an unconstitutional investigation? Knowing that line is your first defense. Tripwire number 1, the unlawful delay, the mission creep violation. A traffic stop is not a casual conversation. Legally, it is a temporary seizure limited to the mission of addressing the traffic violation. The Supreme Court in Rodriguez versus United States was crystal clear. Any police action that prolongs the stop beyond the time reasonably required to complete that mission is unlawful unless supported by independent reasonable suspicion. Here's the detail. The mission includes tasks tied to the violation: checking your license, registration, and for warrants, and writing the ticket. Running a gun serial number is a detour. It is a separate investigation into possession of stolen property or other crimes. If the officer has all the information needed to issue your warning or citation, but pauses that process to call in your serial number, he has illegally extended your detention. The clock is your ally. The moment the original mission is complete, his authority to hold you evaporates. Tripwire number 2, the search within a seizure, the manipulation violation. This is the most common and critical violation. Under Terry versus Ohio, an officer may temporarily seize a weapon to neutralize a perceived threat during the encounter. This is a seizure for officer safety. However, the Supreme Court in Arizona versus Hicks drew a bright line. Moving or manipulating an object to expose something not in plain view, like a serial number on the underside of a firearm, constitutes a separate search. Let's be meticulous. Securing the gun might mean having you place it on the roof or the officer moving it to his hood. But inspecting it is different. The instant he turns it over in his hands, racks the slide to find an internal number, or uses a flashlight to angle for a better look, he has crossed from a lawful seizure into a warrantless search. A search requires probable cause. Specific facts suggesting the gun itself is evidence of a crime. Your lawful possession is not probable cause. His curiosity is not probable cause. Tripwire number 3. The plain view myth, the immediately apparent violation. Officers often invoke plain view to justify this. The doctrine is narrow. For it to apply, the officer must be lawfully in a position to see the item, and its illegal character must be immediately apparent. Horton versus California. A firearm is not inherently illegal. Think forensically. There is no way an officer can know a firearm is stolen, lost, or used in a crime just by looking at it from the driver's window. The serial number is the key. If that number is not visible from his lawful vantage point without manipulation, the gun's illegality is not immediately apparent. He must conduct a search, see tripwire number 2, to discover that potential. Claiming plain view after picking up the gun is a legal fiction. The act of picking it up to find the number is the very search that requires justification. Now, we must be realistic. Courts grant deference to officer safety, but that deference has limits. The bright line is this: actions taken to secure a scene are lawful. Actions taken to investigate unrelated crimes are not. Running a serial number is investigation, not protection. Here is your detailed, 4-step roadside playbook to enforce these principles. Step 1. The pre-stop audit. Know your duty and script your response. Before you drive, know your state's specific duty to inform law. Is it required upon contact? Only upon request? This is non-negotiable homework. If your state does not require you to volunteer the information, your script changes. You answer questions truthfully but narrowly. Do you have any weapons? Can be met with, "Officer, I am complying with all applicable laws." You have not lied, and you have not opened the door. Step 2. The clear, unambiguous denial of consent. If the officer asks to search or begins moving beyond the traffic stop scope, your line is delivered calmly and clearly. "I do not consent to any searches of my person or vehicle." Say it once firmly. This invokes your Fourth Amendment protection and severs any later claim that you allowed it. Your tone is respectful, but your words are a legal barrier. Step 3. The status clarifying questions, starting the legal clock. If the delay continues, you must determine if you're being detained. Ask sequentially, "Officer, just from my understanding, am I being detained?" or "Am I free to go?" If the answer is "You're being detained," your next question is, "Can you please tell me the specific reason for my detention?" This forces him to articulate a reasonable suspicion for a new investigation. Vague answers or silence are telling. You have now formally placed the encounter on a legal stopwatch. Step 4. Strategic compliance and the verbal record. You never physically resist. If an unlawful search proceeds, you comply with commands for your safety. Your battlefield is the courtroom, not the roadside. However, you create a record. If it is safe to do so, and state law allows, activate your phone's audio recorder. State clearly for the record. For the record, today is date I'm being detained by officer, if you have a name, during a traffic stop. I have not consented to any searches. I am not resisting. I wish to leave if I am free to do so. This contemporaneous documentation is invaluable for your attorney later. Your calm, informed demeanor makes you the credible party in any subsequent proceeding. In conclusion, the tripwires are their limits: unlawful delay, illegal manipulation, and the plain view myth. Your playbook is your active defense. Audit, deny consent, clarify status, and document. If you or someone you know is facing charges stemming from a scenario like this here in Indiana, my door is open. If you found this deep dive valuable, please like and subscribe. It truly helps, and I'm serious about this. Leave a comment below with one legal term or concept you'd want explained in this same level of detail next. Your engagement shapes what we cover. Most importantly, remember to always stand on your rights and always plead the fifth.